Everybody is a star. Everybody in this house will say,
everybody wants to shine. We all come out on a cloudy day. M.I.T. made us brown, and it's got love that keeps us around.
we all shine day or night. We don't fear darkness when we do what is right.
And we'll say,
Everybody is a star.
and we'll say,
No matter who you are.
and we'll say,
Everybody is a star.
and we'll say,
No matter who you are. Everybody is a star. All of you will say,
everybody wants to shine. When they follow in the sacred way, I feel like a rising star. When I feel God sound for me. Here we go, here we go. And we'll say,
everybody is a star.
and we'll say,
No matter who you are.
and we'll say,
Everybody is a star.
and we'll say,
No matter who you are.
come on,
Everybody is a star.
come on, come on.
All of us who worship at will say,
To be better than you are. Work, study, meditate, and pray. M.I.T. will take you far. You should praise the name every day. Yeah.
we all are stars because we're following the sacred way.
Come on, come on.
And we'll say, everybody join in. And we'll say, no matter who you are. Come on, join in. Everybody is a star. And we'll say, no matter who you are. And we'll say, everybody is a star. And we'll say, no matter who you are. And we'll say, everybody is a star. And we'll say, no matter who you are. And we'll say, come on, people, join in. And we'll say, no matter who you are. And we'll say, no matter where you are. And we'll say, no matter who you are. And we'll say,
Ashe, ashe, ashe. All right. Well, good morning, everybody. Grand Rising. It's so wonderful to be here in the house of Wose, Ashe. It's good to be here, that we're all here up under the umbrella of the Most High, Ashe. Sister Runner.
M.I.T. Hey now. Permission from an elder to speak.
Speak up, my sister.
There we go. I'm gonna back this up a little bit. Yeah. Put this car in reverse for a moment.
Well,
come on now.
I was sitting at home, contemplating whether or not I was going to come to, as we say, live from Wose,
Come on now.
or whether or not I was going to handle this from Queen's Castle.
okay, come on.
And as I sat there comfortably with my cup of tea and my biscuits that I had just made yesterday, not today, yesterday, but that was still good. I sat there and I just started wrapping my fingers on the table, and I was becoming aggravated and I was becoming excited, and I was wondering what was going on with me. And I remembered that all of my people who weren't in their own homes watching were here at Wose.
Come on.
And I just was not able to sit still with that feeling. I said, you know, we are a people who have to walk the walk,
Well.
walk the talk,
Well.
and do what's necessary.
Come on now.
So I want to read from you our Rose faith statement. And if you can't tell, for the second time, my eyes are giving me lots of trouble, but we're going to work through that as well.
Well. Come on then.
What we believe and what we practice. Rose is a community of the sacred African way. The way is M.I.T, truth, justice, righteousness. We believe the teachings of our elders and our ancestors that our creator God created the universe and all life, and has placed in each of us, a part of the divine spirit. God living in us and through us has given us the right and power to establish peace and justice in all human life and true harmony with all of creation. We believe in the living faith of our ancestors. Our way is not merely ritual or belief. That's what got me here today.
All right now.
Our way is not just what we read. Our way is not just what we talk about.
Come on.
Our way is what we do, the actions we take, the things that we put into the universe, and stepping out there and saying, no, I don't feel like necessarily going to 89th and Holly today when I'm comfortable on 10th and Linden with my coffee and my biscuits. But I need to get up and get moving.
Well.
Right? Because I believe it when the other people in Rose say, we like it when we see your face. We like it when we get our hugs and kisses in person. We like it when you come in and share that light with us. I believe it.
I say, bring it, sister.
I believe it.
Mama Queen.
I say.
Our way is not a random path. Our way begins with coherent understanding. It is a way that aims at preserving the knowledge of who we are. All right? Now I'm gonna stop that there so we can go forward. But I just want to say what we believe and what we practice. Again, it's a part of our faith statement. For those of you who are going to be going to orientation soon, you'll learn more about that, go more in depth on that. Baba M.I.T. Bill, if you're out there, if you would be so kind as to drop this into the chat so that people can get it. I intend on memorizing this. My Baba M.I.T. Sydney has gotten pretty close. He's pretty close. That's why I call on him sometime to do it. He's pretty close. But I intend on memorizing this because just like we do affirmations a little bit later on, for me, this is a form of an affirmation because I'm not just saying it to you when I speak it, I'm saying it to my own mind. I'm saying it to my own heart. I'm saying it to my own ancestors, and I'm letting that vibrate. So I ask any of you who dare to do so, go ahead and try to memorize it with me and commit it to your mind. All right, commit it. Oh, I share. Next up is going to be the affirmation brought to us by Mama Fania and Sister Jalea. And before Mama Fania and Sister Jalea come forward, I just want to say that every time I see these two, it warms me. And it warms me, first off, because they're both gorgeous. Gotta deny it. That's that, you know, I'm trying to lift sisters up and be with you and tell you when you're just fine for no reason, except God just made you that way. I'm not mad. I'm trying to find out your secrets. Both of these ladies are just gorgeous. And it also lifts me up because just in the past, I think it's 4 years now, that I've been coming to Rose regularly and been a member of Rose, and just watching Jalea over these years just kind of change. And it takes me back to those years for myself 8,000 years ago. But on occasion, just watching her and the little nuances, it warms me as a person who doesn't have children. I live vicariously through people who do. So when I see her and I see these little subtle changes in the shape of her face or in how she postures herself, I think of how that must feel to both her and to Mama Fania, and it warms me. It warms me. But most of all, as we just spoke of, to see this young lady being brought up in M.I.T, to see this young lady being brought up in the way, to see this young lady being brought up in Rose, it just warms my heart. It just warms my heart. So to both of you, just love, nothing but love for you. So I want to bring forward now the affirmation with Mama Fania and Sister Jalea, and then that's going to be followed by a song from Stones of Fire. Come forward, please.
You can go first.
Okay. This is the we'll say affirmation. We'll know God's truth to be free and self-determined.
Creator, help us to remember the humanity, glory, and suffering of our ancestors, and to honor the struggles of our elders.
Let us strive to bring new vision and life to our people. Let there be peace and harmony among us.
Let us be loving, sharing, and creative. Let us work, study, and listen, so we may learn, teach, and cultivate self-reliance.
Grant us power, O Holy One, to struggle to resurrect our heart and our homeland.
We will raise our children according to the needs of our nation, with discipline, patience, devotion, and courage. We will strive to be the living models of the new direction of our people.
We are an African people.
We are children of God. Ashe.
Ashe. Ashe.
When you touch up your parents, it makes you look like them.
Yeah, 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 oh, shoot. Yeah, yeah, oh, yeah, yeah, oh, yeah, yeah, oh, shoot. Yeah, 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 oh, shoot. Yeah, 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 oh, yeah, Oshun is the spirit of the river. Open your hands. She's a sweet giver. She'll turn your tears of sadness into gladness. Praises to Oshun. Yeah, Oshun is the spirit of the river. Open your hands. She's a sweet giver. She'll turn your tears of sadness into gladness. Praises to Oshun.
Creator Most High, Amen, Ra, Ptah, Nut, Kansu, Olafemi, El Yahim, Yahweh, Jesus the Christ, Allah. We call on all the names used in Africa and across the diaspora to call on that one God. We also sing the praises of the traditional African orishas such as Odulamari, Shango, Yiminyao, Ilegba, Oya, Obatala, and of course, Oshun. Oshun, the goddess of honey, is the divinity of love, harmony, and community. Oshun's delicate symbols generate and attract the sweetness of happiness. Oshun's colors and symbols are the shades of gold and yellow. Her energy is present wherever there is sweet water. Her home is in the rivers and the lakes, exuding black, sweet black woman energy, strength, black man power, complementing the black woman energy, unifying us with the ancestors. Queen Nzinga, Harriet Tubman, Patrice Lumumba, Stephen Biko, Malcolm X, Sojourner Truth, Nat Turner, Ida B. Wells, Imhotep, Medgar Evers, Fannie Lou Hamer, Fred Hampton, Bob Marley, John Henry Clark, Nelson Mandela. Oshun representing the beautiful, the feminine features of life, lightly dancing into a timeless rhythm in tune with the tones of the spiritual, offering a prayer with props to the highest down to the earth with water, fire, air, breath, the life of the Creator, divine presence, wisdom, power, wisdom, power, wisdom.
in the gladness, praises to Oshun. Yeah, Oshun is the spirit of the river. Help in your hands. She's a sweet giver. She'll turn your tears of sadness into gladness, praises to Oshun.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. That's got to be one of my new favorites. I don't know if it's old, but it's new to me relatively, so it's one of my new favorites. Next up, we are going to have our historical tribute coordinator get his time in. That would be Baba Tai, and he is going to bring us our historical tribute for this week. And then that's going to be followed by another song by the Stones. So, hey, this should be good. Baba, are you ready?
Certainly.
Almost ready? Don't ask me to sing to fill in time because I can't sing.
I should have been doing this
I
already.
can dance a little.
Okay, we'll say good morning. We'll
There
say.
you go.
All right, good morning, good morning.
Okay. Okay, I think we're about ready to go. Okay, I'm assuming everybody can see this, right? Okay, we've come to that time in our service that we call our historical tribute. It's a time that we here at Mose take out each and every Sunday to pay honor, to pay homage, to pay tribute to some significant, not necessarily famous, but significant person, place, or event from our history. And we do it for several reasons. I've done some pretty, I think, heavy tributes since we've been on Zoom. My last tribute was about Billie Holiday and the song Strange Fruit. Before that, I did the man who actually pulled the trigger and killed Malcolm X. And I also did the assassination of Fred Hampton. You know, I think pretty heavy tributes. And so sometimes I want to lighten it up. And when I lighten it up, a lot of times I do sports, right? And I've been told, why is this not working? Okay. I've been told that sometimes when I do sports, some of the sisters don't appreciate it, right? So I'm going to do a sports story this morning, and I hope I'm doing one that sisters, I'm hoping it's a story that sisters will like, right? Sisters, this story is geared toward you. And in fact, it was Mama Ngina that gave me the topic for this morning's tribute. So thank you, Mama Ngina. Here we go. But whenever I start sports, and since it's baseball season, we'll talk about baseball, and we'll talk about this guy, Jackie Robinson. Okay, now everybody knows who Jackie Robinson is. But do you know what Friday was? Friday, day before yesterday. You know, Friday was April 15th, and it's not just tax day. It's not just Good Friday. And why is my computer? Okay. It's also Jackie Robinson Day in the major leagues. And in the major leagues, every April the 15th, every player, every manager, every coach on every team that plays baseball wears the number 42 in honor of Jackie Robinson. Right? That's absolutely true. And the other side of that is, if it's not Jackie Robinson Day, then you'll never see the number 42 on a baseball field because it's been retired throughout all of baseball. Nobody can ever wear that number again. All right. So they honor Jackie Robinson. But this morning's tribute is not about Jackie Robinson. So do we know this guy? Okay, Hammering Hank Aaron. But before I talk about Hank Aaron, I want to talk about when I was a kid, there was this guy, his name was Babe Ruth. He was dead by then, but they said that he was the greatest home run hitter that would ever live. He said nobody would ever hit as many home runs as he hit 714 home runs in his career. And they said, oh, that's a record that will never be broken. Well, before I talk about Hank Aaron, let's talk about this guy. In the Negro League, which was the equivalent of the major leagues, whenever they played games, they often would play games together. The Negro Leagues won more than half of the games. So in the Negro Leagues, there was this brother who hit more home runs than Babe Ruth. This brother, they say, hit over 800 home runs. Babe Ruth only hit 714. So when white people saw Josh Gibson play, they used to call him the Black Babe Ruth. But Black people really knew that Babe Ruth was the white Josh Gibson. Right?
All right now.
So, and you say, well, but he had inferior pitching. Well, no, because he had to hit against this guy. This is Satchel Paige, who is arguably the best pitcher to ever lace up spikes, right? He was so good that when he was 42 years old, they signed, he played for the Negro League. When he was 42 years old, they signed him to the American League in baseball. They signed him to the Cleveland Indians, and he became the oldest, it was then and is now, the oldest player ever to play their first game, right? He was the oldest player. Okay, that's how great he was. Satchel Paige and Josh Gibson were so good that even though Josh Gibson never played in the major leagues, and Satchel Paige only played a few years. He didn't write the 2 All-Star games. They were the first 2 people elected to the Baseball Hall of Fame from the Negro League. So that's how good they were. But this morning's tribute is not about those 2 brothers. So back to Hank Aaron. Hank Aaron, I told you about the record that would never be broken. Hank Aaron was 714 home runs. Hank Aaron shattered it. Hank Aaron hit 755 home runs. He doesn't own the record now. It was later broken by Barry Bonds. But Hank Aaron's shattered that record. But this morning's tribute is not about Hank Aaron either. This morning's tribute is about the player that replaced Hank Aaron on his Negro League team. Now, Hank Aaron was in the Negro League. He played for a team called the Clowns. When he got drafted to the major leagues, he left. And the player that replaced Hank Aaron is sometimes known as the best player that you never heard of. That player's name was Tony Scott. Now, Tony Stone. Now, Tony was born Marcenia Lyle Stone. Yes, that's right, Tony was a woman. Sisters, here we go. This is your part. She grew up a tomboy in St. Paul, Minnesota. She thought softball, which is what most women played then and what they still play now. She thought softball was too slow. So she played baseball. She also played, she was also a swimmer. She ran track. She played basketball. She even played a little football. But her first love was always baseball. She played it most of her life. In 1953, when she replaced Hank Aaron as the second baseman for the Indianapolis Clowns, she became the first woman ever to play on an American professional baseball league team with men. She's the first woman ever, right? And she was a good player. She had to be to make it to the big league, right? She even got a hit off of the aforementioned Satchel Paige. She actually got a hit off of him. But she was a woman, and unfortunately, men will be men. And she was harassed, right? Throughout her whole time that she was harassed, even by her own teammates, right? You know, they used to yell things at her like, you belong in the kitchen and go home and make some biscuits for your husband. Her manager even told her once that she'd be better off sticking to knitting and home cooking. But then he saw her play and she won him over, right? She used to be proud of the fact that the men didn't want her around. She would show scars that she had on her hand from tagging people out at second base. They wouldn't let her change in the men's locker room. She couldn't go in the men's locker room. If she was lucky, they would let her change in the umpire's locker room. Anyway, she had a good year. She played 50 games. She had a good year. She hit 243, which is a respectable average. Her second year, she got traded to the Kansas City Monarchs, and she didn't play. She had to sit on the bench. So she retired. Excuse me. She retired and she moved to, of all places, Oakland, California, right? Where she worked as a nurse, right? She died on November the 2nd, 1996 of heart failure at a nursing home in Alameda, California, right across the river. Okay, so how good was she? How important was she? In 1990, the Baseball Hall of Fame brought her into it in 2 exhibits, one about women in baseball and one about the Negro Leagues. So she's been inducted to the Women's Hall of Fame. There's, in her hometown of St. Paul, Minneapolis, there's a baseball field named after her, and they had a day for her. So I want to do one kind of project. I want to thank Sister Ingina for. Okay, I want to thank Sister Ingina for turning me on to this story. A lot of times memories get lost back in the recesses of your mind, and something will happen that will make you remember. And so researching the story made me remember that when I was a kid, when I was very young, my father took me to a Negro League baseball game. We went to see the Indianapolis Clowns. Now, my two main memories of that game were, one, the Clowns, who were the baseball equivalents of Harlem Globetrotters. They would play serious ball, but they would also do tricky things, funny things. One of the things that I remember is that the first baseman had a huge first baseman's mitt. It was about the size of a suitcase, right? He didn't play with it, but he used it in his warm-ups and he got a big laugh. The other thing that I vaguely remember is a woman playing second base. Now, I do know from this research that the Clowns ended up hiring 3 women in all. So I can't be sure that the sister that I saw playing second base when I was in Griffith Stadium in old Washington, D.C. with my dad watching the Clowns play baseball. I can't say with 100% certainty that it was this sister, Toni Stone, but I believe in my heart that it was. So anyway, this morning service is dedicated to baseball player, Sister Toni Stone. May her spirit, if not her memory, live forever and forever in the hearts and the minds of our people. Thank you, Jose.
There's a Toni Stone play that is being shown right now in Atlanta.
You know what? I meant to mention that. There were a couple of Toni Stone plays, and she also has a full-length biography called Curveball, The Remarkable Story of Toni Stone. But there is a Toni Stone play. Thank you. Thank you, Jose.
Thank you, Baba Ty. That was beautiful. Thank you.
And that play was also in San Francisco a couple of years ago.
I can't find my
Oh,
arrow.
powerful, powerful. Thank you, Baba Ty.
I can't find my arrow. Okay. Are we with you in a second? I can't find my arrow.
Yeah, that was wonderful. Thank you very much. Sante Sana.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Can you hear me, Jose?
Sorry.
Next, we are going to have, can you hear me?
Yes,
I'm clear.
Thank you. Somebody's awake. Next, we're going to have another song by the Stones of Fire. We're just giving a moment for our for Baba Ty to get in position for that. But here we go. All right.
People get ready, there's a train coming. You don't need no baggage, you just get on board. All you need is me to hear the diesel coming. You don't need no ticket, you just thank the Lord. All aboard, get on board. All aboard, get on board. Now people get ready, there's a train a-coming. It's picking up, passing from coast to coast. You know that faith is the key. Open the doors and board them. There's hope among those love the most. I believe, I believe, I believe, I believe. Now there ain't no room for the hopeless sinner who would hurt all mankind just to save his own. Have pity on those you know whose chances grow thinner, 'cause there's no hiding place among the kingdom's throne. I believe, I truly believe, I believe, I truly believe. So people get ready for the trains coming. You don't avoid all your things. To hear the diesel coming, you don't need no ticket. You just thank the Lord.
All right. Akanka, you're back up. All right, that was, sometimes you kind of feel it run through you. I felt that one go, whoo, whoo, whoo. I don't know if that was a spirit or what, but I'll take it. And I'm thinking that train that's a-coming might be called the recommitment train. I'm just saying, it has left the station. So get on board, right? All right. All right, next we are going to have the Litany of Sacrifice, Mama Akanke and M.I.T. Bill. Hello, M.I.T. Bill. Come forward, please.
Woe say, now is the time for us to gather our resources. Hosea tells us, be generous as long as you live, for what goes into the storehouse should come out, for bread is made to be shared. This is the time, and these are the addresses where you can send your monies, your resources to WOSE via postal mail. There's the address for our Oakland church and our Sacramento church. Save us, O Holy One, by your name. Vindicate us by your might. Hear my prayer, divine protector. Listen to the words of my mouth. How can we repay the Holy One for the gifts that have been given to us? We will lift up the cup of salvation and call upon the God of our ancestors. We will fulfill our vows to our Creator in the presence of all our people. Gladly we bring our sacrifices to you. We praise your name, O Amun-Ra, for it is good. Umoja, unity. We shall strive to maintain unity in the family, community, nation, and race.
Kujichagulia, self-determination. We shall define, name, create, and speak for ourselves.
Ujima, collective work and responsibility. We shall build and maintain our communities together. Our brothers and sisters' problems shall be ours to solve together.
Ujamaa, cooperative economics. Together, we shall build and maintain our own businesses and together profit from them.
Nia, purpose. We shall make our collective vocation the building and developing of our community and the restoration of our people to our traditional greatness.
Kuumba, creativity. We shall do as much as we can, in any way we can, to leave our community more beautiful and more beneficial than when we inherited it.
Imani, faith. We will believe with all our hearts in our God, our people,
and the righteousness and victory of our struggles.
Ashe.
Ashe. So, oh Amun-Ra, we give you thanks and praises for this moment of giving. We thank you for this moment, for we know that we have received, and we know that giving is a part of the whole. We ask that our giving be made and multiplied, oh Amun-Ra, for the work that we are doing, the work that is coming to do for generations of our children, our people. We thank you for all those who gave monetarily, all those who give in their work, their physical work, in their minds, from their minds. We have so much that is being given in this community, Amun-Ra, and we're thankful for the strength. We're thankful for the courage. We're thankful for our umoja. We're thankful for the foundation that we rest on of M.I.T. For we know all things given will come back to us so beautifully. So with that, I thank you for our ancestors who gave in order for us to be here today. So we're always thankful for our ancestors. in your most precious, in your most sacred, in your most beautiful name, we say, Ashe.
All right, Jose. Now it's time for the word. And this young man that I'm going to bring forward for you today is known as sometimes M.I.T, always Minister Mallie Latham. And Mallie, for me, represents a lot of things here at Jose. Mallie brings a power, a strength, knowledge, travels, lessons that you can't get without having lived them. And that's something I appreciate. I appreciate the book study. I appreciate the academia. I appreciate that in all of us. We all need that. But even more so, I can appreciate someone who has that and take that and apply practical application of life. That's where I find my lessons. So I'm going to bring him up here so I can sit down and listen. Without further ado, Minister Mallie Latham.
I see. Ashe. We got two sayers up here, and I got mine. Oh, Sam, who say protected. I want, first of all, to honor our tradition, which is to is it on?
Yeah, it's on this time.
Okay. I want to honor our tradition and first request from the elders permission to share my message.
Speak truth, brother. Go
Come
right
forward,
ahead.
minister, come forward.
All right. Thank you. Before I actually go directly into my message, I just want to recognize that today, this is not by accident that this day in particular and this time period, there are a lot of religions, several religions who recognize this day as a holiday or some form of religious celebration. With Islam, there's Ramadan. There is with the Christian church, Easter, and there's also with the Hebrew church, the Passover. All of these celebrations occur during the spring equinox. And I'm not going to deliver a message about those celebrations or trying to compare them to where we are as an Afrocentric, African-oriented people. But I will say this about particularly the Christian Catholic celebration of Easter. The word Easter in itself has an origin in something that many people in Christian religions and in Catholic religions would say has pagan origins. And a lot of times when they talk about us, those folks who like to practice and live the African-centered way, a lot of times they want to judge us or condemn us or talk about us when we talk about our origins of our faith, as if we are just, straight from the heathens and pagans. Yeah, Catholic religion, and I'm raised, baptized in the Catholic Church, so I ain't out just to hate on them. But Easter itself has origins that I'm not going to give a whole thing on, but I just want to encourage you to do some research. Look up the name Easter and also look up the name Eostir. E-O-S-T-E-R-E, or Astara. Those are expressions of where the word Easter comes from. The goddess of the spring equinox, which is a Germanic origin, not a Christian one, is the origin of where not only that word comes from, but where part of that celebration comes from. You know, me and my brother Sidney were talking about in the past about Easter celebrations. I don't remember too many Easter sermons, but I do remember that we all got dressed up. And he had the derbies, and I had my first suit. And that's what I loved about Easter time. But there also is something about us, Black folks. We love and we really appreciate any opportunity to dress up, any opportunity to look good, because it also has a thing about our culture about feeling good. And that's the whole thing about Easter, which we were all talking about here live at Will Say, that perhaps we could invest in this time of year some Afrocentric, African origin, Kemetic faith-based celebration that would make us feel good. That would be something to be an excuse, because I don't need much to dress up. You know, and I'm not just talking about wearing what I wear when I come and bring the message. You know, I got a few, still got a few brims. I still got a few suits that I usually don't wear no more, but they still fit. And I'm saying, perhaps we could also take advantage of this time of year to have a good reason, because we know we have many reasons to celebrate, to honor what the divine has done in our lives. I say, so let me get to our message. Yeah, can I get to that? I just had to do a little Easter introduction, because it is what they're doing around us. But let's also get to what we want to do. And my message today is found in the Hosea, and it's page 33, section 4. Before I read that part, let me be for real and honest that my message is inspired by what I heard from Minister Alicia. You know, many of us admire her. I in particular admire her because, see, Minister Alicia has a very gift, a talent of being able to take things that appear to be sublime, or in other words, deep, and break it down to a point where regular folks like myself, who ain't always that deep, can understand, who can grasp those things that might be difficult to grasp. And Minister Alicia was talking about the 10 virtues. To me, that would be like a 3-volume recitation and about a 4-part message. Yet she broke it down and put it in one passage. And one of the things that touched me and inspired me was that part about when she was talking about control and behavior and the way that is related to our health. So I am moved today, and I want to read that part, and I hope to honor part of what Minister Alicia inspired in me.
Come on now.
It is the second paragraph of stanza 4, page 33 of Hosea, and it reads, "Helmsman, do not let your ship go astray. Life giver, do not let the people die. Provider, do not let the people perish from need. Shade, do not let the people become dry in the sun. Protector, do not let the crocodiles seize the people and drag them away." Now, on the surface, that may sound like, what in the world are we going to be talking about today? Well, my message is the holistic path to live and life. The holistic path to live and life. I just want to ask you to pray with me this morning and lift me up, because I'm telling you, I wrestled with this all night. I know there's many folks who would understand that when you bring a message, sometimes it just don't come quick. And I'm telling you, long after the Warriors have won the game, Well, I was still sitting in front of Lucia asking for help. Well, and I'm telling you, if I actually didn't want to use this passage, Sister Rhonda, you know, I was feeling like must be something else the divine wants from me. But every time I was trying to go to another passage, the divine kept leading me back to it. And I have long ago understood that when the divine wants you to say something, it's best that you just go ahead and say something. And also that in your faith, you trust what the divine has for you to say. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna speak to y'all from faith. Can I do that this morning? I'm looking at some of the faces on the screen and understand it might sound like, what in the world is he gonna say to us? But trust me, this is something I believe the divine wants us to share. All right, can we get that this morning? A pathway, holistic pathway to life and living. There is with us a existence that is not just one level. It is multiple levels. We have a life, we have an existence that is what I call holistic, which embodies the mind, the body, and the spirit, housed in the soul of our human condition. Now, I know that might sound a bit deep, that might sound a bit challenging, but trust me, it is actually very basic. And I'm going to use the text that we talked about, that I've read to you all, to break it down in my Minister Alicia way, to share with y'all on a much more understandable level about what may first sound like something deep. Because this text helps us to understand this piece that I'm talking about, holistic health, holistic living, which is a pathway of life. And it starts with the helmsman. Come on now. Come on. Some of y'all might be familiar with the role of a helmsman. All right. He's not the captain. Make it plain. He's not the admiral. Come on. Come on. He ain't given a position like military. Right. He has a role, a duty. The helmsman guides and makes sure that all passengers, and including the ship we're in, arrive safe at the destination that we have decided to go to. Come on. The helmsman. Come on now. And then that helmsman has some duties that the passage wants us to pay attention to. It starts with, because I'm gonna keep going back to this text, but at first it says, life giver. Do not let the people die. Come on. See, that's a responsibility. And we ain't just talking about physical death. See, some folks is like zombies right now. They're walking around looking normal, even behaving normal, but truly are not living. Because see, there are people within our own community and in the larger community that we exist in that don't understand they're letting people die. Come on, say it again. Come on, make it clear. And the sad part is that those of us in the ship are given permission to let it happen. But we ain't gonna talk about that yet. We ain't there yet. All right. Let's slow our roll. We ain't there yet. But understand, we have the helmsman who is responsible as a minister would be to help advise, guide, lead, not a position of authority. Come on. Ministers ain't supposed to be telling people what to do. A helmsman just takes care of the duty in charge to take safe journeys, to make sure we arrive where we're supposed to get. I say, come on. And then we have provider. Do not let the people perish from need. Remember that I was talking about we exist on 3 levels. There's our mind, our body, and our spirit. Well, all of those things have needs. Well, okay, maybe only me, but I understand I got needs on all of those levels. And a whole lot of times we live superficially. See, we take care of one part and leave out the other two. Or we take care of two of them and we leave out that third one. Holistically, that is out of balance. And when we wonder why we struggle with the things we struggle with, it usually is in one of those three areas, if not all. Because we have needs that need to be addressed. And please, 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 do not make the mistake of thinking the helmsman is in charge of your needs. See, we have been given the God-given responsibility for self-care. Oh, yeah, I didn't expect that, huh? See, we are given the personal responsibility for self-care. The helmsman is in charge of the guidance, of the advising, of the support. We is in charge of the work, of what it takes to take care of ourselves. Now, what we use, what we pay attention to, what we work with is why we need to work together. Because if it was just me, take care of me, well, many of y'all wouldn't have saw me today. It was just on me. But the proof that we need each other is because we are still here in spite of everything that goes on outside and inside. All of the challenges, all of the stressors, all of the conflicts have yet to defeat us as people, as a community, as families, and as individuals. If you think that ain't true, then how you sitting where you sitting? Oh, if you here, I win the argument. Are you here? My brother say he here, so we win the argument. You can't make it on your own. Although the paradox is you are responsible for your own. So I'll let that sit with you for a minute, because that's called a paradox. On one hand, there's this thing that don't seem to make sense. I'm responsible for me. A lot of us agree with that, but a lot of us don't like that. Oh, okay, just me, I'm sorry. But then there's the other side, that we also need each other. And the proof is none of us made it here on our own. Come on now. Come on. Another three. Shade. You know, that's interesting, because all the other aspects of this text have like a person or a character. Helmsman, life giver, provider, shade. You know, shade might not be a person. Might be more of a thing, but it ain't no less significant. Because see, if you understand the image of a shade, if you understand what shade does, in the text it says not to allow people to dry in the sun, but also with us. How do you get comfortable? How do you unwind? How do you relax? How do you relieve the expectations and demands that everyday life brings to you? See, you might not really pay attention to shade until it gets hot. And then you really can appreciate the shade. The challenge for us holistically is not to wait till it gets hot. See, that's something that we practice in our day-to-day activities that I think can be somewhat humorous. But see, Brother Ustadi is someone who challenged me about that approach. See, we tend to, under the influence of Western health systems, we tend to practice an emergency room level of health. We wait till stuff happens. We wait till our bodies are hurting. We wait till we sick, ready to fall out, and then we want to go get help. And that is an imbalanced, unholistic approach to self-care. See, you just can't be practicing the doctor's gonna save me health approach. Because many of us, okay, me, I used to do health by, health and, scattered choice. If it hurt, then I go deal with it. If I'm limping, okay, let me go get it fixed. And for me, that just meant that I spent a whole lot of time suffering. Okay. And spending money that I really would have rather spent somewhere else. So we got healthcare plans. And even these plans we work with today are built around that same type of Western type of approach to healthcare. That it's more money available for treatment of ailments than it is for prevention of ailments. And I'm saying that this text and M.I.T and all the African-centric principles that we work with are an encouragement not to do it that way. The self-care should be preventive. It should be the type that addresses us even when we feel good. And that's the purpose of shade. Shade ain't just for when you're hot and sweaty. Or maybe y'all didn't know that. See, because many of y'all, come on, okay, I won't tell on you. But I'm sure there's some of y'all who don't, you be out there burning up, sweating, getting soaked, and then you go, oh, maybe I ought to get in the shade. But actually, shade is there for whenever the purpose that you want to relax. See, reduction and relief from stress is a major preventative activity. The reason why meditation is so important prior to this service, and I want to thank Minister M.I.T for his approach to that, is that many of the struggles we have health-wise on our mind, on our body, and our spirit are related to how we address stress. That's right. Externally and internally. Because holistic health says it ain't gonna be just good enough for me to figure out how to stay away from y'all. See, it actually means that not only there are times when I don't need to be messing with y'all, there's times we should be messing with myself. There's times when I need a shade, a protection, a relief from all sources of stress. Y'all with me this morning? I just said that's holistic health. You just don't do it on one level. You just can't be satisfied superficially. You got to look at, how do I take care of my whole self? So that, I don't walk in and y'all look at me and say, ooh, your clothes look really nice, but I'm limping. I'm sore, I got neck pains, my back hurt, and basically once I sit, I don't want to move. Come on. Because see, I haven't paid attention to self-care enough so that I take care of my complete self. Because, there's a lot, there's some folks. I won't say a whole bunch of folks, but there are a whole lot of folks that love to be dressed up. But inside, they're tore up. Right. Come on, teach good, Bob. Tell the truth. Tell the truth. I really didn't want to say that to a whole bunch of y'all because I don't want you to be offended. But even though you may look great, even though you may wear custom outfits, the inside is way more important to your overall health. And that when you take care of that, the rest comes along. But it's hard to do it the other way, where you just look good and you sound good, but you don't take care of your spirit. You don't address the heart. You don't allow your insides to get the celebration of life too. That's why when they talk about people who are recovering from addictions and they're miserable people, because they didn't take care of the other parts. They stopped drinking, stopped using drugs. Maybe they gave us some bad habits. I ain't gonna name them, but they gave them up. Yet they didn't take care of the self. They didn't work on who they are. And that's where the M.I.T, that's where the virtues, that's where Nguzo Saba comes from. It takes care of the whole self. So you don't just look good. You don't just speak good, but you also feel great about who you are.
Come on, man. Come on.
Everybody still with me? I hope nobody's running now. I told you I'm not gonna make it personal, but I do want to speak to us, because when it talks about holistic health, there's some roles to take care of. After the shade, there's this most powerful part that I want to talk about: protector.
Okay.
Do not let the crocodiles seize the people and drag them away.
Take your time. Take your time. Take your time.
See, this is kind of personal for me. I can't speak for other folks, but understand, crocodiles are beasts whose purpose ain't to help.
Right.
It's to hurt. They feed by crushing others. And unfortunately, crocodiles in our physical self, our mental, emotional self, and our spiritual self ain't just animals.
Come on now.
There have to be some things, some situations, some people, some relationships, some attitudes. That is the crocodiles we have to be careful about today.
Come on now.
See, we have to develop an ability to not only call out the crocodiles in our lives, but also address a strategy about how do we deal with the crocodiles in our lives. Because see, a lot of us are really painfully aware of crocodiles. I don't know about y'all, but I've had some very sick relationships, which I ain't gonna go into now.
Come on.
But understand, I can smile now because I've developed, with the help of others who love me too, an ability to address those crocodiles. See, because they got crocodiles that come in many
Come on now. Teach good. Bro.
conditions.
All right.
They ain't just folks with hoods on their heads. They ain't just folks who don't look like us. See, there are crocodiles that can look just like you. There's some crocodiles that can dress very well. They can speak very well. They have things that you might even admire. Things that you can say, oh, wait, that's an accomplishment. Yet as crocodiles, their investment, their intentions are still the same about destruction. See, Minister Marcolisi speaks about that. See, there are aspects in our culture, in our family, in our relationships that crocodiles exist. And much like when I said earlier, we was talking about the helmsman and the fact that if he's not doing his job, well, it's on the people in the boat to say it and call it out. Well, that's what it comes to with dealing with these crocodiles. Don't be waiting on your neighbor or your auntie or your best friend to address your issues with the crocodiles. See, you need to call them out. You need to identify them, because if you don't, it doesn't matter what anybody else got to say. I don't know about y'all, but you know, I've had some really gifted people as mentors. I've had some really great people who cared about me. But until I learned to care about myself as much, man, it was like empty words. They sound great, and if you put them on a tape, they make a good album. But it didn't change my life. Because see, crocodiles have to be dealt with first and foremost personally. You got to call them out. And then we bring in the community. Then we bring in the family. Then we bring in therapy. Then we bring in support. Then we can use the museum. Then we can take on all of the tools available to us to defeat the crocodiles. That's why we got the Lucia. That's why we read sacred texts. Not so we sound so good. Not so we are intellectually prepared. It's not for the purpose to add another degree on the wall. It's about when you live life. See, none of those things is gonna matter when the crocodile is knocked at your door and he's dressed like the mailman, or he's dressed like your best friend, or he's dressed like your girlfriend, or he's talking about I'm Billy Bobo. When he says I'm everything but what I really am, can you deal with it? Or do you accept that abuse? Do you become another victim? Even with black on black crime, is that there's times when we talk about that stuff. It is about personal, because you ain't got to participate in the madness, in the chaos that activity is involved with. There is a limit to what you can control, but the part you can is very, very magnificent. And it's full of a whole lot of responsibility. If I try to extend myself to how I'm going to take care of my brother Sidney life, as much as I love him and I care about him, it just wouldn't work. And all it would do was set me up to let other crocodiles come and get me. That's what I mean about this use of the Nguzo Saba. Unity only works when we come together. And I have to choose to come together. I don't get no Ujima benefits unless I am willing to be in a collective relationship. I can't be cooperative. I can't use Ujamaa if I don't decide that that is important to me. As soon as I get myself out of the way, then I move for y'all. I could sound impressive. I really could look great. But see, is my practice in line with those principles? So that's going to bring me to the last piece.
Come on, that's good.
Because I could go with this. But understand, there's a thing that we have commonly on our material and our books where it says might, think might, speak mine, and do mine. I don't know how many times y'all out there have made that phrase, but here's what I'm willing to challenge you with. I think most of us are pretty comfortable with the speaking part.
Come on.
Am I being unfair to somebody? See, I think there are a lot of folks comfortable with the speaking part. And starting with myself. I sound good.
What'd you say? Okay.
And even with thinking, I'm willing to think it.
Yeah.
Like me and Sydney's shared mother would go, yeah, you sound like you thinking about it.
Sound.
Yeah. Old folks really could get on us, because especially if we go to college and we all say we go educated, we start thinking we know so much, and they just say something real simple and pull the covers off of you. And I will, that's really impressive. And then you look at their face. Yeah, you're impressing somebody. Mostly you. Look at it in the mirror.
Yeah, come on now.
Because the real thing that pulls it together in a holistic manner is the do.
Come on now.
The do.
Come on.
See, we as ministers and as non-ministers have to be practitioners of M.I.T. I could run 200 classes on M.I.T. and still not get it. Because until I'm expressing the ability in my behavior, in my actions, and the way that I treat you, the way that I treat myself, the way that I treat my family members, even those that don't believe in I'm not fully, holistically embracing my.
Come on now.
And that is a tremendous challenge. But I'm not gonna leave y'all hanging.
All right,
I know that's kind of stunning, but understand something about holistic process. You start small and you end big. See, with holistic behavior, artistic activity, you measure it not in some large accomplishment. You measure it in the day-to-day. Come on. See, each day, because you ain't guaranteed the next day, you have to do the best you are capable of in that time and place. You don't make plans about how good you're going to be next week. You don't talk about, well, tomorrow, I'm going to really get this. I'm going to be down. Y'all wait till you see me tomorrow. It has to do with a one day, one time, one location type of approach that builds days on days on days. And I don't think I'm saying something that many of y'all are not familiar with. But what I'm challenging you to do is to take that part of you that's like your conscience. And it says to you, you know you could do this better. You know you ought not act that way. You know you shouldn't really talk to her like that. You know, see, that consciousness is not dead to us. It's alive. Sometimes it's covered. Sometimes it got stuck in a way. But it is there because the divine gave it to us at birth. If that not be so, there's no explanation for Minister Alicia, given the life she's had. There's no explanation for Minister Sidney, given the life I know he's had. It ain't no explanation for Makalisi, who has come from where he's come. There are all of you who have that same God-given gift. That's what makes us equal. That's what makes us blessed. That's what makes us risen on the day of the grand rising. And all of us are called out to just do it better. Not be perfect, not be ultra righteous, but to just do it better than you've been doing it. I bet you the ground would be probably very pleased by that. And I ain't guessing about it. I know from myself, because I don't even have to tell you my past for y'all to understand I wasn't always this good. I wasn't even as good as I think I am today. Understand, I know firsthand what it took a divine entity to reach into my life circumstance and get me as the helmsman to guide me through the obstacles, the challenges, the tests, all the worries, the sources of loss, the redemption, the rejuvenation, and the restoration of who I am today.
Shit.
I don't think I'm by myself. I know I'm not the only miracle sitting in here. I know. That's right, Sister Sawala. Raise your hand. Identify that, because all of y'all are first-hand witnesses of the miracle of a divine power who can only be the reason for the season. It can't be nothing else. It ain't you and your talent. It ain't what you deserve, what you earn. It has to do with how you have placed yourself in a position to be blessed. And then most of y'all, if you were like me, got out of your own way. Come on. You understand, holistic means that we have to think on a physical level, a spiritual level, and a mental, emotional level. Come on now. We have to speak on a physical level, a mental, emotional level, and a spiritual level. And we have to do. We have to do. We have to do on a physical level, a mental level, and a spiritual level. Holistic means not being just well-read. It doesn't mean we're well-spoken, but also does mean we're well-behaved. It's more than just possessing African attire. It's more than having a good look with the latest outfits or caps and gowns. You understand? It's more than just having an African name.
Come on, what? Come on now.
It's more. It has to do with an approach that highlights, like we have in our book, where it says, this is why we do what we do.
Okay, now.
To uplift the African, wherever he, she may be, to that level of where the divine has brought us out to be. Yes, we slip and we fall, but like a lot like what many of a famous person has said, it ain't that you ain't gonna fall.
Right. Come on.
It's that you gonna get back up. And that's divine blessing. It's that not falling is out of our control.
Right. Come on,
But
now.
getting up is our call.
Yeah.
And that's the call of the divine. And that's what I want to say to y'all this afternoon. I'm not going to tell you you're going to avoid mishap. I'm not about to say that somehow you ain't going to get challenged. Some of y'all already know that. But I'm going to say, when you fall, reach back up and get up, get out, and get down. Don't just lay there and bemoan the reality that, oh my, I've slipped and I've fallen. Unlike the commercial, you can get up, you can get out and get busy. You ain't got to stay in that prone position. Y'all don't hear me. Y'all don't even feel me. Y'all don't even get it, do you? Understand, when you know that, you have a whole lot to celebrate. See, you really do have a holiday because it's only the power, the spirit, the blessing of a divine entity that can touch your life personally and as a community. It lifts all of us up and don't leave none of us out. Understand? That's a real blessing. You don't have to make up no holidays for that blessing. Understand? We have a heritage of a lifestyle. Blessed and given to us and revealed to us with an understanding, as Minister Inhofe likes to say. Minister Makalisi revealed to us that which has been hidden, but it wasn't available. It was that we got in our own way. And now that we ain't in our own way, now it's time to embrace it. Now it's time to take our beliefs, our values, and turn them into action. To be in sync with the divine presence that all of us has been given. To be in sync so that the holistic process of living and life is all of our blessings. Ashe.
Helmsman, don't let your ship go astray.
This train has left the shores. We are headed for someplace higher. And I hope you all are on board. People get ready. Ashe. People get ready. There is a train coming and it's called Rose. It's powered by God. It is motivated by your own engines collectively. Ashe. Now, right now, reaching out and I'm saying, is there anyone out there amongst you? I'm going fishing because that's what we do. Is there anyone out there who has heard something today that touched your spirit? Is there anyone out there today who has been coming and visiting with us, who today is the first day and right now you're going, what is this? I don't know, but I like it. But we like it too. Is there anyone out there who does not have a regular home or has a regular home? It doesn't matter to us, but you want to be with us. You want to know more about what we're doing. You want to know more about what Minister Mallie is talking about. You understand what is all this commission stuff we're talking about. We want to tell you. we want to teach you. All right. So let me just get this screen up here and everybody open your eyes for me. I only got 2 of them. They're big, but they really don't see everything, even if it looks like it. Is there anyone out there? Raise your hand, put your name in the chat. I want to know more. I want to find out more. We actually have an orientation coming up. We're going to be talking about that. You want to know more? This is the time to say, I would like to know more about Wose. I would like to find out what it is you all are so excited about and so happy about. Please come forward. Raise your hand, wave your hand. You can go like this. That's okay too. Put your name in the chat. Is there one? Is there one? I can't see, but somebody else. Okay, so if not, I'm going to move forward, but I hope for those of you who are already members and who are already regulars that today was definitely inspiring.
Yes.
For all of us. And I hope that as Minister was speaking, that you were thinking about those things within yourself that you want to maybe work on, those things that you want to add to in order to motivate and inspire yourself, motivate and inspire others. I hope that you dig in there and work on that a little bit. You know, watch out for crocodiles. I'm telling you, I've had my times where I was like, woo, you know, and sometimes you just got to take the arm off and leave it for the crocodile, let them have it and keep going. You'll regenerate some more. Just keep going. Just, you got to be aware. All right, we're going to go forward. We're going to go forward with Lift Every Voice and Sing. And don't worry, if you didn't decide that you wanted to step up today, there's always next Sunday and every day in between. So we're going to go forward with Lift Every Voice and Sing.
That's it. Woo. Yeah.
Lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven ring with the harmony of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise high as the glistening skies. Let it resound loud as the roaring sea. Sing a song full of the faith that the dark past has taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us. Facing the rising sun of our new day begun. Let us march on till victory is won. All right. Thank you so much, everyone who came to celebrate with us. All of our visitors. Thank you for the young who came. We have fun. We have fun. Thank you for all of our elders. Thank you so much for our ancestors who were definitely with us today. We need you. We feel you. We love you. Thank you so much. And everyone in between, we are just grateful that you spent this time with us. We know you have choices about what you do with your time. We're honored that you chose to spend it with us. I just want to say from us to all of you, we are of one mind, one love, one heart, one destiny, one destiny. One God. All right, and you are the most beautiful people on the face of this earth.